It's June, and seeing how it's officially the month of the Jurassic Park franchise, which I'm a huge fan, and if you doubt that, then just look at the amount of Jurassic Park videos I have. Today, I'm going to rank all four Jurassic Park movies that have been released so far from worst to best. That includes the original Jurassic Park trilogy and the franchise's 2015 reboot, Jurassic World. First off, and everybody knew this would be the first one up, is the worst film in the franchise, the 2001 disaster Jurassic Park 3, which is pretty much a failure in every way. This is the lowest point for Jurassic. It is truly sad that this series got this bad, and only 1 year later Star Wars fans would get a massive disappointment that's even worse than this shit. Everything in JP3 is horribly bad, from the lazy story that's obviously just some poor excuse to get Alan Grant onto Isla Sorna. At least The Lost World introduced characters that were forgettable but tolerable, like Sarah Harding, Roland Tembo, Eddie, and what was the black girl's name? Although they're nowhere near as well written as the classic characters, they were tolerable, unlike the Kirby family in GP3. I literally hate all of them. You want them to die so badly because if idiots this stupid really were on a dinosaur island, they'd be the first ones to die. But no, they have to live to the end. I even hated Billy, even though he's the most relatable character in the whole mess. But the actor looks like Hayden Christensen, so fuck him. The dinosaurs look particularly awful in this shit festival. Spinosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs, but what they did to it in this film is unforgivable. I mean, just look at this monstrosity. Not only can you tell that it's fake as fuck, but it literally looks like it belongs in one of those cheap Godzilla movies from the early 2000s, or in some B movie. At least the raptors are okay. Besides the Spinosaurus, they're the main antagonists of this movie. JP3 is the only Jurassic film not to have human antagonists, which makes it even worse. A staple of all the JP flicks is that the message is that humans are really the bad guys, so when dinos get out, they get eaten. But as much as I hate the Kirbys, they're not the fucking bad guys. InGen is, and it's hard to make them out as the evil force of this movie, if they're not even in this one. Number 2, Jurassic World. Some of y'all might be surprised that I put this so low on the list, and by that I mean below The Lost World. There are a lot of Jurassic fans who believe that Jurassic World is better than The Lost World, but I actually feel like The Lost World is the superior sequel, and I'll tell you why. Granted, they're both unnecessary sequels that really should never have been made. If Jurassic Park 3 taught us anything, it's that Universal should just stop, but they said, fuck that, let's get this money. And what resulted was the summer blockbuster popcorn flick in which Hollywood took yet another dirty shit all over this once beloved franchise. The script for this film is shit. Unlike the previous two JP sequels, the characters aren't forgettable, but they're annoying, poorly written, not too engaging, and the actors just don't seem to be having fun, because they know what kind of a tragic disappointment we're all in for. The structure of the story isn't all that bad, it's just the overall direction they decided to go with it. The park is finally open, but did we get to see any of it? No! You know what you do get to see? A hybrid monster that looks like a T-Rex sized velociraptor that a 6-year-old designed for them, escapes and wreaks havoc on the island. Again. And more dinosaurs escape because it's a Jurassic Park movie and that's what happens. People make dinosaurs, dinosaurs escape and eat people. End of story. But in this one, we finally get the dinosaur fight scene that we were hoping for with the original T-Rex, Rexy, against the Indominus with the help of Blue the Velociraptor and the Mosasaurus. I can forgive a lot of things in this film because most of it isn't that awful. But one of those things is not visual effects. Sure, it's not as bad as JP3, but that's almost impossible. Rather than sticking with the animatronics that really made this franchise what it is, they choose to use CGI, and a lot of it isn't even good CGI. When I watch the first Jurassic Park, it feels like I'm watching real dinosaurs. When I'm watching Jurassic World, I know that I'm watching cheap-ass CG dinosaurs that look like a guy made them by just spending an afternoon in Maya, the 3D animation software. Other than that, the sound is great, and the soundtrack by Michael Giacchino is magnificent. Probably the second best score of the franchise after the incredibly iconic one the maestro John Williams delivered to us in 1993. So next, of course, is The Lost World. People love to shit on this film, but I actually think it's okay. Now, is it a worthy sequel to the first Jurassic Park? Hell no. But realistically, JP1 is so great that no sequel, especially this unnecessary money grab that was done on part of both Universal and Spielberg, could live up to it. And that's really why they shouldn't make any more Jurassic Park movies. But if they could still make a good one, I won't object. So, about The Lost World. The story is actually quite solid. The characters are fine, but it's just too long of a movie. If they just didn't have the Rex get captured and left with Ian, Sarah, the girl, and Vince Vaughn's character escaping Thorna, it would end up being a much better movie. They didn't have to include all that with the full Rex raging through suburban and downtown San Diego. The film would have been much better if they just left that out. And that makes 1993's Jurassic Park obviously number one. You just can't beat the original. Well, you can for certain series, but Jurassic isn't one of them. None of the sequels come anywhere close to this phenomenal achievement. This was really at the height of Spielberg's career. Jaws and E.T. were behind him, and Schindler's List, which is arguably even better than JP1, was also released in '93. So that just gives you a hint of what a mastermind of cinema Spielberg is. I mean, the man has conquered almost every genre, and Jurassic Park is really his crowning achievement. I don't even have to say why this film was great. Everybody already knows that it's an amazing masterpiece in every single way. From the writing, the acting, the set designs, the visual effects, the sound, the music, the superb directing. Everything about the original Jurassic Park goes above and beyond in excellency. And that's what makes it easily the best JP film, but also one of the best sci-fi films ever. So what do you guys think? How would you rank the Jurassic Park movies? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting more Jurassic Park videos very soon, so please subscribe and stay tuned. Spidey out.